Hello everyone and welcome to Holistic Healing with Deepshika. I would like to start today's episode by thanking each and every one of you who have supported me by listening to this podcast. I was supposed to be doing this 2 episodes back because for some reason I thought that there are 54 weeks in a year whereas there are 52. But nonetheless, today being the 54th episode marks completion of 54 weeks of having started this podcast, which means that this podcast is a little over a year old today. And this, of course, wouldn't have been possible without all of you. The love that I have got and the support I have received in the form of the messages and reviews have made it all worth it. I especially have enjoyed the discussions I've had post-airing of the episodes. And to tell you the truth, when I started this podcast, I did not even know what my second episode would be about. And if you were to go back and listen to my initial episodes, you would realize that how new all of this was to me. I had no clue about how to record, how to speak, the content or even the length of the episodes. I simply went ahead and recorded one episode and then the next one and the next one. And every time I felt that my content did not make sense or wasn't good enough, it was the validation that I got in the form of your messages that encouraged me to dream of writing the next episode. And here I am, a year later, 54 weeks later, writing another episode. But this episode would have meant nothing if I would not have started by thanking all of you. It's been an interesting 1 year because I don't know how much of these episodes have helped you, but it's been like therapy for me to express aloud things that I have experienced and to come to realize and the patience with which all of you have heard everything I had to say. So thank you all. Here's my gratitude from the bottom of my heart. The fact that my experiences could be turned into something that others could hear and relate to itself proves that we are all one. We are all connected. We are all here just going through the experiences at the same time, leading each other home. And today seems to be just the right time to also acknowledge how this journey in self-healing has helped me. Even though I have often spoken about it on and off in various episodes, but today I would like to talk about it from the point of view of an individual who saw the world from a very different point of view. He did not understand the concept of self-value, but still had an ego that was bigger than an elephant. And anyone who's seen me and knows how big I am will understand exactly what it is that I'm talking about. I saw the world as a place where I had to be in a constant state of flight or fight. I simply was surviving each day instead of living it. When did it all start? I don't think I can ever pinpoint a particular day or time when it happened. But yes, as I grew up and was dealt with a few difficult cards by life and handed a few lemons, instead of making lemonade, I simply took it upon myself to turn the lemons into oranges. Meaning, instead of seeing the good in the situations and trying to learn my lessons, I put all my attention and effort into trying to control everything. Another thing that happened was that I saw myself as a project. And let me tell you, it was so tiring. Because I had to make everything about myself perfect. I saw everything about myself as something that needed a little improvement here and a little change there. If only my arms were a little fatter, if only my voice was a little stronger, if only I looked prettier, and etc., etc., etc. I could fill pages and pages with my if onlys. And as a result, I shrunk myself to such an extent that I did not take up any space. Not just physically, but also in other people's lives. And when I say people, I mean people I thought and believed to be important to me, and I to them. I made myself so small that I could fit into any little space that I could get. And then I would be ever so grateful for it because I also had the fear of losing these people since I never saw myself as someone worth it. To top it all, the constant need for survival could only happen if I was headstrong and stubborn and in my ego. I think again a lot of it came from the need to survive. Now the question is, what did I achieve by being this? I like to believe that it gave me the strength to survive those events. But today, after having been on this journey for the last 2 years, I can safely say that there are better ways to have handled those situations. I might have managed to survive all those times, but at the same time, I did myself a lot of wrong. I gave myself no space to really acknowledge the emotions and feelings that I felt during those times. I was just too busy being strong. Another thing that I recently have come to realize is that I made everyone in my life believe that I did not need space because I had shrunk myself to such an extent. And today, when I'm doing better, I have learned my lessons, hopefully, and I'm finally trying to make sense of this word called life. I realize that I can be very confusing to the people in my life. Because here I am suddenly demanding time and attention and space and need for being pampered or listened to and understood. Basically, the smallest of things that make any kind of relationship. But again, are they to be blamed for it? I don't think so. Because if I am healing, so are they learning about these new needs that I have. Why am I talking about all this? Only because I am going to repeat what I said in my first episode. The symbol Una Lom defines healing perfectly. The base symbolizes the starting point of life. The crisscross lines that make up the majority of the image indicate the path that your life takes as you reach enlightenment. The straightening of the line symbolizes becoming centered, wiser, and closer to enlightenment. It also symbolizes maturity and understanding that comes with life experiences. The dots symbolize reaching one's goals, freedom, and enlightenment. It is a symbol of unique path of life. And these are the crisscross lines that we have to deal with when on this journey. And not just us, but also the people in our lives, especially the ones who love us and care for us. Because healing is not a journey that can be undertaken alone. Each and every step involves our loved ones. They may actively not participate in the journey, but they nonetheless have to go through it without even signing up for it. There will be triggers, emotional outbursts, changes in their general demeanor, and so many other things. So today, after having successfully completed 53 episodes, having spent hours on self-healing, and then some more crying and being lost, after having had a few emotional outbursts, but learning to say no and draw boundaries, first like a child drawing lines for the first time to graduating to the precision of an architecture student, I can proudly say, after a little vanity sometimes is alright, that it's been a roller coaster ride, and I cannot wait to see where it is going to lead me further. And with this, I come to the end of this episode. I don't know how much sense this episode makes or if it's just an emotionally overwhelming moment for me. But remember, take all the space you want. Do the things you love to do. Draw your boundaries. Say no. The people who truly love you and care for you will continue to be there. May not always do it willingly, but will nonetheless be there. So drop your insecurities and fears. The universe loves a stubborn heart. And remember to always be grateful. Thank you for listening and making this journey worthwhile. Take care till we meet again next week.